Well, I guess I'm back again with some other stuff. I haven't posted any videos in a long time, and I guess life has just been getting in my way. Um, but I wanted to post another video for no reason really other than to just say that I'm here. And I was trying to think of what I was going to do, and then I thought to myself, I had some pretty interesting conversations today. So I'm going to open with one of these conversations. It was saying that I was talking about how there used to be water levels on the sides of the road where we used to drive through this place, and I was in my friend's car at the time, and I was like, I remember when like the water would come up to the road and stuff, and there's like no water now. And apparently that comment spurred the argument that the Earth's water supply is leaving the planet. And that we were running out of water, that we needed to stop using the water. And I was like, okay, the water supply of the planet, as far as I remember, stays on the planet. It evaporates, it gets dirty, it falls into the water table. Yeah, a lot of people drink it, but then it just goes through and it gets evaporated again. But the water is in a constant loop cycle. It doesn't disappear. And even if it did, like, if you were to say that the water supply disappeared, well, water is hydrogen and oxygen, together. So as long as we have hydrogen and oxygen, theoretically, we could just like make more water, right? And of course, they were all like, "Oh, you can't just make water." And I was like, "Really? We can split an atom in half, but we can't put two together, or three together?" And I was like, "That's preposterous." Just, the clouds just have this little proximity thing going on. They can manage to do it. I'm sure we can figure it out. It can't be that complex. It just has to have some like little chemical bonds there, and booyah, you have water. But even if it was disappearing, like I said, as long as we have hydrogen and oxygen in our freaking atmosphere somewhere, there should be the ability to make water, unless, of course, the hydrogen or the oxygen is itself leaving also. That would cause a problem. And then it suddenly occurred to me at that very moment, I was like, wait a minute. What if there's not as much oxygen as there was, so that there's not as much water being made because the hydrogen is not coming into contact with the oxygen at the same frequent rate that it used to, thereby limiting the water supply that's being put back onto the planet because of the infrequency of the amount of these atoms in the atmosphere. And then I thought to myself, well, and then I thought to myself, oh, what if the amount of, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and, a multitude of other gases that we don't want to be hanging around too often are being put into the atmosphere at a rate greater than that of which the plant life on the planet could sustainably, swap them back into oxygen again, thereby lowering the oxygen levels that are not going to be hooking up with okay, I had it wrong. Hydrogen and making the water again, therefore, thus depleting the water supply of the planet. Okay? Well, that seems theoretically possible. I mean, we got, 7 billion people exhaling on a by the second basis in mass quantity. And, we were all like, oh, save the rainforest and stuff, and if you do get to the point where, you have so much oxygen being consumed and so much oxygen being produced, and at some point, if you were over here, everybody's breathing easy, and then that scale just suddenly starts tipping this way, nobody's going to really catch on for a while. They're not going to notice. And then to fix it back to where we can all breathe again, and everything's kosher, because we're not in, like, all this other stuff going on, well, then that's going to take a while, too. But, it seems to me that, being that we're an intelligent species, we need to be able to figure out why that would be allowed to happen. Or make sure it's not happening anyway. Because that would suck. Just saying. The other one was that Oh, I'm only 5 minutes in. This is easy. The other one was that I was at my friend's house, and he said that they had found a satellite dish on a foreign planet, right? And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, supposedly who put this satellite dish on this other planet? And he's like, well, and I'm like, of course, the first thing that we're gonna think of here is aliens, right? Aliens built this satellite dish on this other planet, supposedly probably to communicate with us. And I'm thinking, and so I posed the argument. I was like, okay, that would present the argument then that the alien civilization that you're proposing built this satellite dish does in fact have the same characteristics as the human race in their ability to make things, their perception of how waves and such travel, the materials they have for building things, and their technology also went in the very same direction to come up with the exact same device that we have on our planet. And I'm like, how do you know that they even have fingers? And you would propose that they came that close to our own civilization? Well, that's like another humanoid race, okay? And I'm like, and also on top of that, you have to take in consideration that the environment that they're in probably is not like our own, wherever they are. And therefore, like, if you put like, I don't know, if you like yell, sound travels in waves. If you go underwater, that sound travels differently. It still travels in waves, but it has different, characteristics. And I'm like, if you go into outer space, sound changes again. It's like, and you're gonna presume that not only are they of the same, like they evolved in the same direction that we did, but that they are also in an environment that has the exact same kind of atmospheric characteristics as ours for this thing to work. And then he proposed, well, what if it's from civilization from before our recorded time? And I'm like, okay, well, the planet goes back quite a long ways, and I don't remember there being any signs of anything making satellite dishes in anything that was recorded or found in history. And he's like, well, maybe it predates the planet. And I'm like, okay, if you want to predate the planet, well then, okay, we need to figure out what that thing is made of, because I'm guessing it probably isn't steel, assuming that it was under the same atmospheric conditions that we have to be operational in a way that would condone the fabrication of an actual satellite dish, as opposed to something that would be working better in a different atmosphere. Also, there's no other sign of any civilization that put it out there. And if in fact it is true that there was a humanoid race out there that did build this dish on this other planet, would it not be safe to presume, like before Earth happened, mind you, it seems to me that there would have been something other than just a dish. Or that was failed experiment number 1. And we're just number 2 finding it. And that doesn't make you feel much better either. So we're going to omit that thought and go along with, and how did we not find this sooner? I mean, we're scouring planets and shit, and we're just barely noticing that there's a satellite dish on this planet. I don't think so. I find that very hard to believe, personally. But whatever. Some people like to think of those things. Some people are like, oh yeah, there's other aliens and life forms and things of that nature. And I'm like, okay, probably. I'm not saying that there aren't. I'm just saying that the likelihood that they're just like us is probably fairly nil. And if they were, that's just mind blowing, man. The odds of that are pretty severe. Let's see, what else? I thought it was something else. I should really get no cards. No cards would be good. I guess I got nothing. If I think of something else, I'll make another video next year. Peace.